young dude around this time. They go and check out one of these Peter Popoff live. It's so weird to say that name. Peter Popoff live faith healing / doxing sessions, and then this happens.
After a while, I'm sitting there, and after some of the emotion had died down in me, Popoff said, I need people to come down to collect money for him. And basically, he had 15 buckets, and I'm supposed to go around the auditorium and collect cash.
God is touching that thyroid condition right now.
And these people were throwing like 5, 10s, 20s, because one of the things Popoff always tells them, whatever you give, you will get back tenfold. So if you put $1 in, hey, you're gonna get $10. You put $100 in, you're gonna get a lot more money back. And these people truly believe this.
Here it comes, complete healing in Jesus. You foul spirit of deafness, take your hands off this woman in Jesus' name.
Yeah, these guys are raking it in. And he just healed a woman's hearing. She was deaf, and he just healed her.
So now she can hear how much he sounds like a liar?
She can hear the bullshit loud and clear.
And she's
it's at the point where you're like, are these people dumb, or is this just so insidious that anyone can get roped into it? It might be a little bit of both. It's terrible either way, though.
Either way, so you can tell something's fishy. Something smells fishy. Something is not lining up here.
I really think that the people being, quote unquote healed are not, either they want to believe it so badly, or like, a placebo effect, which I'm a little bit torn on the placebo effect, because in my eyes, if they can trick themselves into thinking something that makes them better, then hey, it made them better. That's fine. But when you're doing that whole ploy of like, hey, whatever, any money you give me, you're going to get back tenfold. Oh man, now it's just playing on people's greed and everything.
And he's one of those guys, man. He winds up, and he's one of those faith healers, of course, that you see that are slapping people in the head, and they're flying back, and people are catching them. I think a lot of that is adrenaline. I think he gets people just so amped up when they get up there, and he finally just pushes them over, like, wow, I don't feel anything. It's like, yeah, you're just pumped full of adrenaline from all this just ramp up that's been going on.
Yeah, it's like he gives them a placebo slap. Kind of like,
really
smacks them with some placebo, and they're just like, I'm healed. It does work, I guess. I don't know.
The mind is a very powerful thing, and it's also a very dangerous thing in that respect. You get enough people into your army and everything, and then it's just like people get brainwashed. Like before, when we were talking about with Hell's Bells, obviously I'm not against religion as a whole, but what I am against is brainwashing and these faith healers that completely just, they're sacks of shit, and they trick you.
They are. It's a lot of trickery, but it's during this event where Amazing Randy, his buddy, that guy Banachek, he starts to get a raging clue that they need to expose this dweeb. Let's hear.
Lord, let these ears be open. There it is.
And as I get up close, I notice in his ear that there's an earpiece. There's no ear hole. It's a little piece of plastic in there, and I come back to Randy. I says, I think I know what's going on.
I said, what's up? He said, he's wearing a hearing aid in his left ear. Now, a man who heals the deaf, you wouldn't think would be wearing a hearing aid.
Well, how do I sound now?
Loud.
Loud.
At that point, I realized we needed some technical help, so I enlisted the aid of a private investigator named Alec Jason.
Yeah, it is crazy that no one tried to expose this before. And this is why Amazing Randy's awesome, man. He is the hero that people needed. And he is going to, why has no one figured that out? He sees that the guy has an earpiece in, and he's telling people their address. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to put that together.
Yeah, I don't know if it looks the same as a hearing aid. I don't know also if the technology that people had for microphones and headphones and everything for them to be that small, but I don't think that they had them that tiny like they do now.
They had pretty. I mean, it wasn't as tiny, but when you make them skin tone, you really can't see them unless you get close to the people, because it blends in with your ear.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. What if it was equipment that he needed just to be able to hear, for the production, on stage? If it was was it an actual hearing aid?
The people at that thing, they've never seen any kind of technology like that. They were freaking blown away. I mean, they're at a place like this kind of place. They're probably not, I don't know, these are the super 80s tech-savvy people. But as you heard there from Amazing Randy, they hired this Alec Jason. He's a private investigator. And their assumption, of course, that someone is feeding Peter Popoff all these people's addresses and ailments through this hearing aid thing. And they see that Peter
sounds
Popoff...
likely.
Yeah. that he is doing another one of these faith healings in San Francisco. I don't know why why that would work there anyway. So they put a plan. They put a plan in motion. They dressed that Alec Jason PI as a security guard, and he brings his 80s spy equipment to the event in the hopes of intercepting that signal. And Alec Jason PI sets up to scan for signals. Let's see what happens.
I have my scanner going, and it's looking for new frequencies, anything new that's not there normally.
Get ready. Get ready. Praise God.
Suddenly, on the scanner, one of the lights came on, saying there's a signal, and the scanner has stopped at that frequency. And I hear what I realize are now footsteps. High heel footsteps on a hard surface.
How many of you believe it's all right to praise the Lord?
And then I hear someone coming closer and closer to the microphone, and the woman's voice said, "Hello, Petey."
Hello, Petey. Can you hear me? If you can't, you're in trouble.
Yes. They were using a radio frequency. I found it.
Wow.
Dude.
They figured this guy's game out. This way, Amazing Randy, being a private investigator with some good equipment, figured this dude's racket out.
Yeah. You know what I think is the funniest thing? Is what is his name? Like Alex Jason? When you said it,
Alec Jason.
Alex Jason, even better. Yeah. It when you said it fast, it sounded like the word allegation. And I have to wonder if that's like he did that on purpose, like as a pseudonym, because
He does use pseudonyms, so it's possible.
yeah.
I don't know, that audio. Hello, Petey.
That was really creepy.
I hope you can hear me or you're in big trouble. Like, whoa, it's immediately a complete indictment on him where you're like, oh, they all know. So let's hear now what faith healer Peter Popoff is hearing, care of Amazing Randy and his tech-savvy PI, Alec Jason, coming this fall.
I found it.
In the name of Jesus.
Jody Dean. Jody Dean.
Is it Jody? Jody? Dean? Jody Dean?
No, she should be right there on your right side.
Here it comes.
Okay, she lives at 4267 Masterson.
4267 Masterson. I can see the angels of God all around your house. Rosa?
Come here.
Is it Kamir? You've been taking a lot of medication?
She's there with her son, Kipper, and he has a lump in his chest.
Wait just a minute. Who's Kipper? He's got a lump in his chest.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, that shit pisses me off right here.
It's
Yeah.
infuriating, isn't it? He's taking advantage of not only people's faith, but their illness and situations. It is nauseating here.
Yeah, it really is. Well, that also totally destroys my theory of them being plants, which, I mean, I still think some of the ones where a guy who can't walk suddenly can walk, I think those are plants. They have to be. But
That
Yikes.
fat nerd was a plant. I swear to God. I know
That could
he.
still
I know
happen.
he. I know he's getting
Yeah,
the inside
that's
track,
true,
but
Rob.
not
It
on
could
that
totally
guy.
happen.
Nah, that guy was comical.
But
We'll have
what
to
the
post
fuck
it.
is his power? He's a human phone book. He's a human address. Like that's all he
know.
does is addresses and like phone numbers and like the stupidest shit that God obviously like. God's like, all right, hold on, let me open up my book. All right, yeah, they live at
yeah, like why
787
would knowing
Edgewood
the
Drive.
address be part of this at all? Like God's
It's just
telling
their
me where you
address
live
and then
right now.
whatever they came there for.
So you better give me a
immediately.
good amount of money, or else God will find
Wow.
you.
How did he know all that stuff I filled out on that information thing where they said I might win a lottery or something? There was a way I'm sure they tricked them where they wrote something down when they got in. Man, that PI, Alec Jason PI, he really destroyed this guy. So let's hear some more.
You want God to melt it right now? Kipper, stand up. God's going to burn that thing out right now.
They'd filled out prayer request forms saying, I have cancer, or I have this problem or that problem. So she's giving that information directly to Popoff. And then he's reciting that information as if he's getting it from God.
Martha Sikorsky.
Is it Martha? Is it Sikorsky?
Weldon Crab.
Is it Weldon?
Crab.
Crab?
Peggy White.
Peggy White?
1305 Solano.
1305 Solano?
Turn over to the left. There
Hallelujah.
you go. That she's had a hysterectomy. She can't take hormones. She's got kidney and eye.
All right, I think you get the point. Yeah, he ruined this man's whole career, as the YouTube
good.
commenters like to say. But you
But
can
did
also
he
pick
really? Did he really though? Because there was a little.
Yeah,
catch
you're
to
right.
it,
There's always
right?
going to be that core team of believers who will not listen to the truth, no matter how damning the evidence can be.
He just switches his shit up a little, I think, right?
You can also tell the people who filled out the fake sign-in thing, Weldon Crabs. There's Weldon Crabs here. Like, there's no Weldon Crabs.
Hey, you don't know that.
That's a joke name. Someone brought their kid, and he's like, I'm just going to fill out a bunch of dumb ones.
What's the point of a prayer card? Like, why would you write down a prayer? Like, who's reading that?
Right? That's what I was thinking. How are these people surprised
the
that they're...
Lord?
Yeah. These letters are going straight to Jesus, honey.
This is shit that I don't think God has to worry about. Is reading, addresses, those sorts of things. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, what if somebody has really horrible handwriting and the angels are like, we don't know what this guy means.
I cannot make it out. Wendell Crabs.
I was going to answer
Wendell. It's like a Winston Christ. No, it's like you just have just bad handwriting.
I was going to answer your prayer, but I can't read it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, really, just use a typewriter next time. And for the love of God, don't be putting emojis in there because we can't read those. They show up as question marks. I don't know what they are.
It's this very primitive 80s. There's no emojis. You don't have to worry about that. But now Amazing Randy has all this undercover 411 on his pop-off guy. So where does he go to expose it to a national audience? Well, Johnny Carson, of course.
So I went on the Johnny Carson show, and when the revelation came and you heard Mrs. Popoff's voice,
Hello, Petey, can you hear me? If you can't, you're in trouble.
Johnny suddenly realized what the gimmick was, and he said, "Oh, shit."
Turns out that God's frequency, I didn't know he used radio, is 39.170 megahertz, and God is a woman, obviously, and sounds exactly like Popoff's wife, Elizabeth.
Oh,
Has he seen this
shit.
tape, though?
No, he does not know about this until this very moment.
Well, we did it. We had exposed this man on probably the most popular television show of the day, and he announced bankruptcy shortly after that.
Oh, glory to God.
Okay, we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Wow, what a way to find out that you've just been utterly busted. You're watching Johnny Carson, counting all those buckets of money from your latest San Francisco faith healing, and now you can see, oh man, they got us.
I love that reveal.
This is, it's just one of those beautiful moments of justice that you have to get off on. It's great.
Yeah, flashy justice too. I'm gonna go on Johnny Carson and do this.
He's got swagger. Randy has swagger. When he does shit like this, he does it right. And I love, he's always got a quick answer. He's one of those older guys who's just always has a great quip to come back at you with.
Yeah, good dash of sarcasm. Really just biting. Yeah, the way he delivered it was so great.
Yeah, I love Johnny's do they have any idea that this is happening? And he's like, nope, this is the first time. You're like, oh shit, okay, well this is cool.
It's like, because he did slowly eventually retire from the escapism and the magic, but I think this became his magic act, was exposing people like this or investigating. He didn't ever like to be called a debunker, and I'm going to say it, I said it, I will say it a bunch of times, but he liked to just be an investigator. But I think this is his new stage act, is doing things like this, going on this big scale and exposing something kind of almost magically. No one else had figured it out yet. So
yeah, and again, I think he's doing a great service. Kind of like what Penn and Teller have their one where they say okay, if you can convince us, then you're legit. But if you can't, we're gonna find out how you did this. And I like that. I like when people actually take that angle.
Well, one of them, which one is the one that talks? Is it Penn or is it Teller? I always forget.
Ironically,
cares.
It's Teller,
no?
Right? I don't know. One of them, he's in the documentary though. They're they got part of they're influenced by him a lot. I think they're in that same world where
I think Penn
they love
is the one
entertainment.
that talks.
They love magic, but they're not claiming to be magical, special gifted superhumans.
Yeah, I don't think any of those BS shows or any of that exist without Amazing Randy. I mean, he's just a huge influence. He's a huge figure in this whole paranormal, just the evolution of it over the decades. And getting back in here, the ones that we've been talking about so far, these are the elaborate ones. These are the elaborate things that Amazing Randy had to do to prove something was false. And very grand, very, 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 stage-worthy kind of things, big events. And these, they cemented him. He's the guy you would call now if you want to disprove some paranormal claim. And not just in the English-speaking world. And unfortunately, I don't have any clips of this. I want to talk about it, though. I found this Japanese TV show. I have no idea what it is or what it's called, but it looks like a game show. And they have this guy there called Magnet Man. And Magnet Man is a man who can stick things to his bodies because he's Magnet Man.
Of course.
Yeah. He takes this huge mirror. It's like a long mirror, like like you would have in your bathroom, and he sticks it to his chest. And then he gets an iron, and he can stick that there too. This is a Japanese game show. I have no idea what's going on. This guy is just sticking things to his chest, but it's paranormal, so okay. But so to test the guy, they have Amazing Randy there in this Japanese show, and all Mr. Randy does, he just tells him to put some talcum powder on his chest. He says that talcum powder it wouldn't interfere with any kind of magnetic attraction, and he comes over, and you get to see Amazing Randy powder the chest of a shirtless or open shirt Japanese fellow, and wouldn't you know it, the iron wouldn't stick to his chest, the mirror wouldn't stick. I think the dude was just sweaty or greasy or something, but he had all these people tricked.
He's just a sticky guy?
He was just a sticky guy, but he thought he was paranormally sticky, that he was magnetic.
Oh, I bet P.P. Warren loves that.
I don't know why they thought a mirror was metal anyway. It's not. You can't stick a mirror to you either. Everyone was so obsessed that, oh my God, the mirror stuck to him.
Weird.
And I said I didn't have any clips for this, but the Japanese audience reaction to anything Amazing Randy does is amazing. So here is, play soundboard 5. This is a Japanese audience reaction to him being busted. Very in unison. Wow. You're not going to hear that here. And then when he showed how he did it, play 6.
It's kind of like a ooh and a ah. We got a
true.
And then we got a
I see.
Nice. Very
they're
soothing.
very calm about it, which it's good. You don't want people throwing shit at them.
Yeah, I would love to just be able to. It was all in Japanese, but those sounds are worth it. But there was another mysterious phenomenon that Amazing Randy was asked to help verify. It was a man named James Heydrich, and we're going to hear a little now about who this James Heydrich guy is.
In the 1980s, the American media began to take an interest in James Heydrich, a young man of remarkable physical prowess who also claimed to have psychic powers. Heydrich could apparently make a pencil spin without touching it, make a dollar bill turn on a pin under an upturned fish tank, or riffle the pages of a telephone directory.
He fooled millions of people here in this country. And then scientists. Scientists took him into the University of Utah.
Heydrich had built up a cult-like following in Salt Lake City, with a peculiar mix of martial arts and the paranormal.
Okay, so this James Heydrich he's like, to give you guys a visual, this looks like a kung fu man. He looks like he's ready to chop some boards in half, but instead he's making pencils spin around, and he can make the pages of a phone book turn. Just psychically. You open a phone book, he can psychically do a little move, and the page is going to turn. But he's a kung fu man.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous.
I guess, no, I think he mentioned being in prison and doing with Bibles at one point, but... So here you go, another weirdo popping up in the 70s and 80s. He started gaining a lot of celebrity, and he started making TV appearances, and the one we will be hearing is a show hosted by Bob Barker, and this is not Price is Right. But the stage is actually similar, and I think I saw that yodeling little prick back there, but whatever. Let's hear some of that now. Here's James Heydrich. Come on down!
Tonight on this stage, you are going to meet a man who claims he can move physical objects using only the powers of his mind. All of us are very pleased, not just pleased, but excited to have you with us. Now, you claim to have psychic powers, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Is this something that you have discovered recently, or have you known of it since childhood? How did it all begin?
Well, everyone's born with it. It's just a matter of development.
What are you going to do, James?
I'm going to move a pencil for you.
With just psychic powers?
Just psychic powers.
Very well.
All right. So, yes, he makes the pencil spin, and then he does his, the pages of the phone book move. It's true psychic power at work. But don't you guys think this is kind of a weak psychic power?
Very specific.
Yeah.
Very specific.
I think anybody who can move anything with their mind, it's impressive, but it's like, I wouldn't go on TV to show it off because it's like, so?
It's weird too because he has to have the pencil at the like half of it is off a table, the other half is on, and it's like it has to be set up in his way. Like no, this is the only way I can do it. And he's like no, get away, open the phone book, and ta-da, and a page turns. And,
is this that kid who looks like he's got like a bowl cut?
Yes, that's him.
Okay, I was like, his voice
that is
sounds really
him.
familiar. I think I've seen this before.
Yes,
It's a pretty famous clip.
It's a pretty famous clip. This is the bowl, but I'm going to play you some clips of this from him you might have never heard. So yeah, this is Bowl Cut Kung Fu Man, and I hope you enjoy those cheers because as we've seen with others, Amazing Randy is about to again ruin this man's whole career.
The Amazing Randy maintains that you did not use psychic power, but that it was trickery. And he is prepared to pay you $10,000 if you can do it using psychic power. Here he is, the Amazing Randy. James, Randy? Now, you saw James' demonstration from backstage.
Yes, I did.
And do you accept that as a demonstration of psychic power, or do you believe that he used trickery?
I don't accept it as a demonstration of psychic power, Bob. I think that the solution is rather simple.
Ooh.
All right. Well, of course, this guy is freaking out. You're going to be exposed on TV. That's going to hurt your psychic pencil spinning business.
Somebody's got to spin those pencils, dude.
This is one of those things where it felt like when you see it that he didn't expect that the most famed debunker was going, oh, God, he's here.
He was like,
what you going to make me do? Oh, yes, they loved it. But the test begins now, so let's hear them test this Kung Fu psychic.
I think that Mr. Heydrich is merely to accomplish this effect blowing on both the page and on the pencil. And the reason is rather simple, because the pencil reacts to even the currents of the air conditioning in this studio. It will be very difficult to try to put controls on it in such a way that normal currents of air that are present all the time would not move the pencil. For example, it moves very, very easily.
All right, you're not going to ask him to do that. That's one down, one to go, James.
Okay, so he thinks he's just blowing, and as you heard there, boy, he debunked that pencil trick real quick. That's what he did. He's like, and there's currents of air, and also I could just go, woo, and the pencil moves. So like, well, I guess we'll have to move on the other one because
instantly, so quick. He just is like, no, okay, no.
Yeah, we'll get
no.
Yikes. Yeah, that's really, it's not looking good for this guy.
Let's concern ourselves with the phone book and the turning the page is the real thing. The pencil already off the table. So remember, this is for like big bucks. This is for $10,000. So this Heydrich guy, that's going to be a big deal. So let's see what's going to stand between Heydrich and that big bag of cash.
Since my theory, as yet unproven, of course, is that it's accomplished simply by blowing, though rather cleverly, I must admit, done, there should be a way, a simple way, without a lot of instrumentation, to demonstrate that fact by using one very simple control. Now, what I have here is particles of a white plastic, which, when given a good puff, good heavy puff of air, will, I think, rather conclusively show whether or not blowing is the method accomplished. Now, it will not, perhaps, in some way differentiate between genuine psychic power and actual blowing. But it certainly should be very interesting indeed to see what now occurred.
James?
Ready?
Yeah. This is a very simple test. He puts these little lightweight pieces of styrofoam or plastic. He puts them all around the phone book. And if this guy's blowing, these things are going to blow around. Pretty easy test.
Oh, he's blowing all right,
Yeah.
either way.
I was going to say, he's like, this dude blows right now. This guy blows. I'm getting my powder.
He's a real good blower. He's really good at it.
He's going to go straight up paranormal activity on this guy. He's got the baby powder out, and he's putting that shit all over the place just to make sure there's no he wants to see what's going on here.
Hey, look,
well, what if he's using, what if they're ghosts?
It's
and
true.
Ghosts are helping him do
It's
it.
true. Could be
That's
ghost
just as impressive.
Spirit helpers.
Well, you put the powder on Magnet Man. Magnet Man was busted with powder. I think you could just do everything could be powder. You could just bust everything with powder. Footsteps, all that.
He's just got like a gun holster with powder in it. And he's just like, hold on a second.
Pocket sand.
But it's set. So he's already done the phone book page turning psychic trick on the show. So this should be very exciting. But it's not. Dude, this Heydrich guy, all he does is he paces around, he stares at the phone book, he starts making excuses. Dude, this is like Uri Geller all over again. And Amazing Randy is standing right there looking at him like, come on, dude, just do it. He starts whining. He starts saying the plastic or the styrofoam is causing static charge. It's pulling the paper down. He even complains about the lights. He's like, the lights over here. The lights doing a thing.
He tries so hard.
He reaches for everything.
He's just pointing at it like, trying so hard to do anything.
They try to help him, though. They loosen the pages of the phone book for him. They're like, no, we'll get it right and we'll loosen it up. And then he says this.
The static is going to still be here because of the foam. See, that's
well,
what I'm
it is
saying.
the opinion of the judges that there is not enough static formed by the foam to be a problem. So, under the conditions agreed upon, it would seem that now you should at least try with psychic power to turn the page of the telephone directory, James.
Okay. Well, Bob Barker sounds so annoyed. I can't imagine how all these shows go so long. Even the Chandler's ones were like, oh my God, there's so much dead time with just this moron walking around.
Dude, it's literally like when you catch a child in a lie and you're just trying to you're just appeasing them at this point. Like, okay, like, are you sure you brushed your teeth and you didn't just run the toothbrush under the water?
Yeah, and they can't punch him on camera.
They're inviting Randy, so they know what Randy does. You know, how are you going to invite him there and then not be ready for him to?
Yeah, you got to expect that he's going to come after you. Yeah.
And I don't know why they keep putting him on TV anyway. The way they whine about everything, you thought they would have learned their lesson with Uri Geller. Like, that dude ruined Johnny Carson's show one night. These guys are just all over the board. Let's hear this, though. Let's get to the thrilling conclusion of this $10,000 challenge.
It's not going to turn for you?
No, it isn't. This isn't a magician's trick. I can't just come up, bang, bang, and it's over. I have to be to where I can work with something small and then big, to build up my own self.
James has not won the $10,000 with this demonstration, so it seems. Now, you have heard what James's explanation is. Do you have any comment to make on that?
Bob, the comment very briefly is that I have gone through many hundreds of these tests with many hundreds of people who claim to have psychic powers. And quite frankly, it's more or less the same story every time. When a simple, direct, very uncomplicated protocol is used and the control is applied, the psychic forces don't seem to be present, if indeed they are ever present at all.
Wow, well said. Another win for the Amazing Randy right there.
Yeah. You're not going to get past Randy. If you're doing this shit, expect to get shut down by Randy.
Yeah, I think he kind of did get by him, too, though, because he's one of those guys. He's like, no, I just won't disprove myself. I won't actually fall into the trap and blow all the things everywhere, because then I'm done. So I just have to do nothing.
Well, that's what a lot of these guys do. Like, these hucksters who get caught in the act, they just, adapt and switch their game up. Like, that one guy, Popoff.
Yeah.
He ended up, he's on, QVC selling, holy water now that will... That'll cure you. They switched their shit up.
Shit, man, I can make holy water. It's not that hard. Man, yeah, no, you're totally right, Rob. You catch them a little bit of a lie, and then suddenly they're just like, well, look, that was never my goal. That was never my aim. It's just something that I did for fun. It was on the side. By the way, would you like to purchase this awesome oil that I've made out of snakes?
Yeah, well, Russ, tell him what Uri Geller does now.
Uri Geller's on QVC now. He sells, quartz rings and crystals. He sells all kind of crap.
He's a crystal pusher now on fucking QVC.
Well, I bet those work.
Honestly, I wanted to say this. He is so funny, Uri Geller, because he still, to this day, is like, I have a gift, and you can say that it is fake, but I have a gift, and I live in a mansion that I earned with this gift. And he's still so cocky about what he does, but him and Randy, the Amazing Randy, are literally like Magneto and Professor X.
Hey, I have a question. Who's the not Chris Angel? Who's that street magician? What's that guy's name? David Blaine. Okay,
David Blaine, yeah.
I recently saw a video while doing this. It was a video of Michael Jackson, David Blaine, and Uri Geller getting out of a limo together.
What?
Like, this guy, no one ever took him down. He always, whatever, in his weird world, he definitely stayed on top.
He went back on TV shows and was doing tricks on TV shows again after all that shit.
The balls,
somehow.
the audacity of these people. Can we just put them
crazy.
all?
But
Can
no,
we just sweep them all into the SOS Hall of Fame instantly? This is like an SOS episode,
right?
It's hard. Well, I think if you get slayed by the amazing Randy, you don't need our help and try to call out an SOS.
Fair enough.
But to get back, we're still talking about this Hydra guy. He never got busted. He just didn't. He just refused to do the trick. So that Hydra guy, though, he did continue his psychic blowing for a while after this appearance. But eventually he was challenged again by another magician who he was able to duplicate everything that Hydra was able to do. And that Hydra guy, he got really mad at this guy and surprisingly said this about his own psychic powers.
Hydrick became confused when he saw Coram replicating his own psychic phenomena, and even thought that Coram might have genuine powers.
The toughest part, though, was exposing the tricks without causing him to become hostile, because he was a very dangerous individual.
Realizing that he had been found out, Hydrick agreed to make a full confession on camera.
I'm not going like that, because that can be seen. I am taking air from inside and causing it to come out in a way to where nothing here shows. My whole idea behind this in the first place was to see how dumb America was, how dumb the world is.
So he does blow. All right, you just showed you how dumb America is. Well, we got you, okay?
He pulled a full Stan Romanek over there, where it's like, you know what? I admit it. I did it, but it was because the government was pressuring me. They were going to kill my family. Changing tack, just like Rob said. He's like, well, this isn't going to work, so let me try to save face.
Yeah, well, this guy sucks. It is impressive to be able to blow but not look like you're blowing.
Yeah, it
is
is
remarkable.
very
It doesn't look like he's blowing, but he's for sure blowing. He's confirmed it.
He's like that kid who like can't do something and then he's just like, no, I meant to do it like that. Like that's exactly
Right.
what he's doing. He failed and he's like, actually, no, I was tricking you guys, and you all fell for it.
Yeah, you guys are stupid.
And still, Randy's
dumb
like,
you
dude,
look."
nobody fell for this. I told everybody you're blowing.
Yeah.
You blow. That's all you do.
Right.
Fancy blower.
And there were so many more amazing Randy feats of debunking or investigating that I would just love to get into here, but our time is running out. And like we said earlier, I just want to suggest for those interested, go check out that documentary called An Honest Liar. It's just a fascinating life that James Amazing Randy has lived. And there's a lot more in there that we didn't talk about, and there's some stuff in there that isn't in there. So overall, I know, Rob, you give that a thumbs up, correct?
Oh, yeah. I would definitely say check out An Honest Liar. I'm just looking to see who it was directed by. Directed by Justin Weinstein and Tyler Measom. It's actually really good.
It was very well done.
There's more to it, too. Like, the story's fascinating. The whole thing, Carlos is actually his husband, which is a cool part of the story. Eventually, you could see all that in the documentary. And there's a whole nother thing to Randy. Randy's an interesting character.
Very interesting life. But like as far as our show goes and paranormal, I just love hearing these rando, just oddball characters that made their way through the world to get famous in to get on a TV show as some weird mentalist, or you're bending something, or you're moving stuff around with your breath that no one can see. Very weird, and it's great that someone was out there busting that stuff. And his offerings of those cash prizes, that didn't stop with that Hydra guy. And through his organization, the James Randi Educational Foundation, through this, he sponsored the $1 million Paranormal Challenge, which offered a prize of $1 million to eligible participants who could demonstrate evidence of any paranormal, supernatural, or occult power or event under test conditions agreed to by both parties. And on our own episode, Sylvia Brown, we played her agreeing to take that test on Larry King. Remember that? She never did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Amazing Randy who was calling her out on that. And remember, and we haven't talked about him yet, but John Edwards, he also agreed to do it. That mentalist guy crossing over, right? That's John Edwards.
Yeah, he's just another pop-off, I think, though. He's like, his whole bit is so similar to that other guy.
Well,
yeah.
So that was the things he was doing later in life. He had this $1 million challenge, and if you're sitting on that, you're just like, no, you guys come to me now. And if you want me to debunk you, you come to me. The $1 million is right here. I just have to test you, and they wouldn't do it. This John Edwards guy, he agreed to do it. He said, "quote It's funny. I was on Larry King Live once, and they asked me the same question, and I made a joke, and I'll say the same thing here. Why would I allow myself to be tested by someone who's got an adjective as a first name?"
Oh,
What?
wow.
What kind of dig is that?
Yeah, terrible. The worst. Just the most, the worst.
Because an adjective is disqualifying, but you not being able to prove yourself is not disqualifying. All right.
It says a lot about psychics, the fact that there's $1 million offer out there, and not a single psychic, not one psychic in the entire world stepped up and was like, give me that money. I got this.
Well,
it's just really weird. It's a really, I don't know. It's not a great
people did
thing about,
step up.
It's not a great thing for psychics, I'd say.
People did step up. Maybe we'll get into it one day because he did all these conferences once a year where people would come and try to like prove it. So we might have to start going through those and see what came out of the woodwork for an event like that. But no one ever claimed it.
There's also that part that I always bring up. It's the people who are legit. They don't want to be put in the spotlight like that.
Yeah.
You know, I've known some people where they're like, this is not a gift. This is a curse. I don't want attention for it. Even if they were going to get $1 million, they're just like, no, I mean, not that they were actually asked to be on this challenge or anything, but they're the type of person to be like, nah, no thanks, I'll pass.
But like every single one of them, though?
No, I don't know. I know that there's legit psychics out there, but they're not the ones who are going out trying to clamor for cash.
But even a psychic,
everybody
needs
Rob's
money.
Teetering that line.
Everybody needs money.
Rob, you're teetering that line. You going Amazing Randy, or are we going to stay in the believer world?
Dude,
it's very
Randy.
He makes you think about a lot of things.
He's like an unbeliever, dude. He really is like an unbeliever because he loves it. He has a passion for the mystical and the weirdness and
for
just
the legitimate
magic.
ones, and you want to weed out the crap heads.
Exactly, and he wants to weed out the shitheads and the people who are faking and taking advantage, just like we do on this show. And I feel like I want to get him on the show. I know he's like 90-something years old, and it's impossible, but it would be so awesome.
Let me get to the wrap up then before you take it all. But James, Amazing Randy retired in 2015, and he ended that $1 million challenge. But like Rob said, I am happy to say that at 91 years old, he is still with us. So that is a great thing.
That's amazing, you might say.
I'm going to ask you, Amazing Dre, do you have any final words on Amazing Randy?
Like I said, I'm just going to reiterate that I think that he's provided a great service so far. It's unfortunate that he retired because he should keep doing it until he dies. I've heard some crazy things about him and everything. Like there's a lot to his story. But as far as going and trying to actually bring some credibility to light amidst all these fakers, for all these haters out there, I think it's pretty amazing.
For those haters out there who think this is fake, I'll stop you right there.
I agree. And how about you, Rob? You got any final thoughts on Amazing Randy?
Check out that documentary for sure. I didn't know much about this guy before I watched it, and I really am a big fan of his now. And just check out the documentary and check out the YouTube videos of what was that guy's name who trying to blow the pages? Because
Hydrick. Yeah, go check out Hydrick. Yeah, just start looking up James Randy. You'll get to that one. And even though he's a much older man, he cannot investigate these paranormal claims like he used to. Like you guys were saying, man, I feel really inspired by him. And I think we share that same like rational view that he has, but even though we believe way more than he does in anything, but I feel like in a way we do kind of follow in his footsteps of in what we are doing, and it's not about being negative. I'm saying that it's not. It's about trying to discover the truly unbelievable,
yes.
And there just seems to be a lot of BS and con artists out there ruining it for the truly genuine.
Amen.
That's it for tonight. Let's get out of here. Thank you for everything, Amazing Randy.
Are you ready, gentlemen? And now here's Miss Joyce Hahn paying tribute to the Amazing Randy's magic touch.
You got the magic touch. It makes me glow so much. It casts a spell.
Creepy.
It rings
Oh my God.
a bell. The magic touch.
Yes, the magic touch. I really love doing this episode, so this was a lot of fun. If we sound a little bit off or a little weird, we are, like I said earlier, we are recording this on live on Twitch. We're trying this out for the first time, but a lot of fun. How about you guys?
Yeah, no, this is great. And like I said, I really do hope we get to do this more in the future. Once everything's kind of normalized on my end, this has been really
that clip,
really makeshift today.
That audio clip just now, that music was from the documentary. That's from when he's trying to escape out of the thing hanging, right?
Yes, as that woman is singing that song, he is escaping from a straitjacket.
It was a pretty creepy sounding song.
The last note of the song is sung, and he is out of that straitjacket.
And I love that she's like,
Randy
he's got
stuff.
the magic touch. The whole thing is the magic touch, which sounds a little bit dirty, but at the same time, it definitely works for Randy because he does have the magic touch.
There's a lot of rubbing that goes on in this episode. I think it's very appropriate.
Yeah, there's one scene.
Yeah, he does.
There's one scene where he
Appropriate
goes in
rubbing.
this can, and the whole thing is they were like practicing before the show that he was going to do this trick where he gets locked in this like milk can thing, and he tries to do it, and when he's in there, he cracks a vertebrae from squeezing into it and can't get out of the thing, and
Oh,
like,
God.
he's underwater inside this can, locked in, and with a broken vertebrae, like. In excruciating pain.
Jesus.
And yeah, like he almost died right there. That's in the documentary. It's an interesting part.
Yeah, he's in his 50s at the time doing this. I mean, like we mentioned, the man was born in 1928, and we're talking about his great feats in the 70s and 80s when he really came into his own.
Yeah.
As found his path, and he was already a very popular magician. Great stuff, a lot of fun. I know we're gonna run across him again because he's just a wormhole that leads you to all of those weirdos that we've learned about. Please, I know we don't really know it yet, but we got to find this guy. Play soundboard 3 for me.
God bless you, Dr. Peeper.
I feel like
know
that's
what's
going to be
funny?
a very annoying episode if we do find him. But I'm willing.
Randy like doesn't age either. He at one point in the documentary,
He's old his whole life. Yeah, he looked old in the 40s. He looked old.
He looks like he's like 80 in the 80s, and they ask him his age, and they're like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 55, and you're like.
Yeah.
What? You're
I was
55,
like, whoa.
dude. Like you look like
Man.
a great grandfather.
He cultivated the look. He had the bald head. He has a huge white beard. He is like an upside down Gary Spivey.
Or like,
That's kind of what he looks
well, that's how
like.
Steve Martin appears eternal. You know.
His one eyebrow is so long. He's got like the hair of the eyebrows are probably 2
All
inches
right,
long.
enough. This is our hero.
He's like
We're
Merlin.
not picking apart his
He's-
features.
He's like an old wizard.
Stop.
He's great. I love him.
All right. Rob's off the rails. He can't handle this. He's juiced up. He's looking at chat. People are probably pumping their fists with emojis. So let's do it now. Let's get out of this. And it's time for, oh my God, a double dose of poll results. This week's poll, who's your favorite channeler? And the choices were Esther Abraham, Bashar, Daniel Scranton, Gary Spivey, or other. I'm going to ask you, Drea Morrow, what do you think the Unbelievers said?
This is tough because Gary Spivey's not a channeler, but I have a feeling they're going to say Gary Spivey.
All right, what about you, Rob?
I hope they said Daniel Scranton because Daniel Scranton is my favorite.
It would be.
Well, evidently the Unbelievers